Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. So I am starting a 2018 NBA playoff simulation and preview series here on my channel. We are going to go through every single series here, give my thoughts on the team stats, the player stats, strategies for both teams, and who I think is personally going to win the series. If you guys want me to do this for every single team and throughout the entire playoffs, be sure to drop a like on this video. The first matchup we are looking at is the Houston Rockets and the Minnesota Timberwolves, the 1 seed versus the 8th seed of the Western Conference. Houston won 65 games this season. They look like the team that can win the championship. Where Minnesota, they had to play an elimination game in the final game of the NBA season against the Denver Nuggets. It was such an exciting game. They won that game in overtime. But I will say, first and foremost, that Minnesota, in my opinion, with Jimmy Butler, guys, emphasis on Jimmy Butler, is a better team than the 8th seed, which is going to be a tough matchup for the Houston Rockets, just because, in my opinion, this would be more of a second round type of matchup. But, Jimmy Butler went down with injuries, so the team kind of took a few steps back with that happening. So yeah, let's go ahead and look at the team stats of both of these, really good teams out here. We have. Okay, so when you think of Mike D'Antoni, you think of offense. His offensive schemes, his ability to put Chris Paul and James Harden, two ball handlers, on the court together. And it just works, guys. It just really works, and I really had my skepticism going into this NBA season, but they are second in the NBA in scoring at 112.4 points per game. But at the same time, though, the Minnesota Timberwolves putting up 109.5 points per game themselves. So yeah, it's definitely going to be an offensive battle out there. The thing that surprised me the most is that when I think of Tom Thibodeau, I think of defense. Or, well, I also think of playing a lot of minutes too, which is why Jimmy Butler got injured, and also Derrick Rose has no knees left in his legs at all. But besides for that, guys, I think of defense. Unfortunately, it's not really translated very well to this Minnesota Timberwolves team, or Minnesota Timber Bulls, I should say, right? So the Timberwolves are like, I don't know, man. I don't know the bitch-ass math off the top of my head because I got the freaking IQ of a second grader. But they are in the lower half of the NBA here when it comes to points against per game, giving up 107.3, which is just not a good look if you are playing a team that's offensively dominant like the Houston Rockets. The Rockets, meanwhile, are like top 7 of the NBA in points per game, actually top 6 because they are tied with the Raptors, giving up 103.9 points per game. So offensively, the Rockets are listed as better, and defensively, which of course is why they won 65 games on the NBA season, right? Okay, next up, let's look at the player stats of both teams out there. Let's go to the Minnesota Timberwolves right here. Really, this series and how far it goes is going to come down to the health of Jimmy Butler. Right now, he's currently averaging 22.2 points per game, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals. His on-ball defense is one of the best in the NBA. He's really been the unspoken leader of this team, guys. He's been absolutely unbelievable for them, and just goes to show, in my opinion, I feel like a guy like Jimmy Butler should be in the conversation for MVP. He goes on this team, and all of a sudden, they are just a totally different team out there with him on the court. So, in my opinion, that's what MVP really is, but I know the definition of that isn't exactly all that clear. Now, Karl-Anthony Towns, offensively, one of the best centers in the NBA. 21 points, 12 rebounds, an absolute beast out there. What it's going to come down to, though, man, he's going to have to be able to contain Clint Capella on the inside and not let Capella, who is a great defensive center, shut him down on the offensive side of the court. So Karl-Anthony Towns definitely going to want to play some defense out there. Hopefully he can go to that next level in the playoffs, get motivated and everything like that. If not, then it's going to be difficult because a lot of pick and rolls out there. He's going to have to be quick on his feet and, really just do his thing out there. But I think the biggest X factor of this series, Andrew Wiggins. Which Andrew Wiggins is this team going to get? Are they going to get the guy that, can hustle out there like he was doing in the Denver Nuggets game? He made a lot of, brilliant plays, knocked down some clutch free throws out there. Or are they going to get the inconsistent Andrew Wiggins that settles for the jump shot, doesn't really play much defense? Hopefully, man, he can be coached into, going out there and playing a really nice series. Jeff Teague, 14 points, 7 assists per game. Gonna have to try to contain Chris Paul out there, which is easier said than done. But those are pretty good stats, man. 14.7 assists. I do like those numbers a lot. Get a few steals out there. Taj Gibson is gonna have his workout out for him, playing some perimeter defense on Ryan Anderson or whoever really is playing the power forward position, depending on, the schemes that the Houston Rockets had to go with. Jamal Crawford, great bench player. Derrick Rose, who knows what he's gonna be. Belicha, I think that's how you say his name, right? Definitely a good three-point shooter. So yeah, this team, they have the depth to really go out there and make some noise against Houston Rockets. So looking at the actual Houston Rockets right there, James Harden, MVP, right? He is the MVP. He is the player that it's like you just do your best to just somewhat contain. But with that being said, it's going to be freaking nearly impossible. You're going to have to hope that the rest of the team, that you can contain them and just let James Harden do his thing out there. 30 points, 9 assists, 5 rebounds per game. Chris Paul at 19 points, 8 assists himself, getting 5.4 rebounds. Eric Gordon off the bench. You got Clint Capella getting the 14 points, 11 rebounds, 2 blocks out there, nearly a steal. But I think this is the matchup, guys, that is really going to come down to things, or really the player that's going to need to step up, and that is Joe Johnson. The reason I say that is because Luke is going to be out for the first round of the series, guys. He's not listed as injured on here, but he is in real life. He like dislocated his elbow or shoulder or something like that. He is going to be out for the first round of the playoffs, so that's a big hit to them because this guy is 6'8", can play the power forward position, can stretch the floor out, can do, he's athletic too, can do a lot of different things out there. So yeah, man, PJ Tucker's gonna have to step up, and I think he got a bitch ass contract, dude, doesn't he, man? I don't know what his contract actually is, but I'm gonna say you can pay that kind of money right there. What, $58 million? No, I'm sorry, I was looking at the cap. I was about to say, man, about $8 million per season. Time to step up and really filling that void that Luke is gonna leave on this team now. Overall, though, I will say that when it comes to this team right there, I do think the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to be able to win one game. I don't think it's going to be a sweep. I got too much respect for Jimmy Butler to say that. But I think it's going to be the Houston Rockets 4-1 when it comes to this series, guys. Let's go ahead and do a playoff series simulator and see how it goes. So simulate with Simcast, see what 2K thinks. Give me your guys' predictions in the comment section below. Game 1 and simulate game. See how it goes right here. It's, of course, Houston Rockets do have the advantage here, the home court advantage. And like I was saying, man, it's gonna be a freaking high scoring series out there. 130 to 113 in that first game out there. Eric Gordon, 26 points, 8 for 13 shooting. He's definitely capable of just going off crazy like that. We got Ryan Anderson dropping 26, 7 and 6 assists. So Ryan Anderson playing like a damn prime Dirk Nowitzki out there. 6 for 9 from 3. And you guys can already see the 3-pointers dropping like crazy, right? And what Chris Paul do? 7, 7 and 15 assists for him. Minnesota Timberwolves, Jeff Teague did his thing, 18.6 assists, which is around his career or his season averages anyway. Jimmy Butler, 17, 5 and 7 and 4 steals. Defensively, a very nice game. Offensively, 6 for 15. 3-pointer was not falling. And then, of course, we got the Andrew Wiggins that kind of settled this game. Shot 5 3-pointers, missed all of them. Karl-Anthony Towns shooting threes. Got clamped up by Clint Capella, so hopefully they can counter that some way. Next up, Game 2. Simulate with Simcast. See how this goes, guys. See if the Minnesota Timberwolves can bounce back, or if it's just gonna be oh my god, dude. Yo, Houston Rockets are just balling out here, man. Oh my life. 133 to 114, giving up the points, but damn, they gain a lot of points themselves. Eric Gordon looking like the MVP of the series so far. 35 points, 7 rebounds. We have a triple-double average, triple-double for Chris Paul. 28, 10, 13, 23 and 9 for James Harden. Ryan Anderson still shooting consistently out there. Gerald Green dropping 10 points. Clint Capella getting the 11 rebounds. The Minnesota Timberwolves, Karl-Anthony Towns himself a hell of a game. I think he needs to shoot more than 14 times. He is would you say he's probably the best offensive player on this team, or would you give that to Jimmy Butler? Jeff Teague, 18 points, 7 assists, same as last game. Andrew Wiggins, 6 for 12. Attack the basket looks like a little bit more as he only had 1 3-point shot. And we got Jimmy Butler, 10 points and 6 assists, and not really play well at all that game. Also 5 turnovers, which was probably the big difference maker. All right, here we go. Game 3. Simulate with Simcast. Here we go. Simulate game. We're now on the Minnesota Timberwolves home court. And looks like it's a lot closer this time around, but the Houston Rockets freaking bounce back in the second half. Clamp up on defense, drop 31 in the third, 33 in the fourth. And for this third game, they are up 3-0. Chris Paul, oh my life, dude. 36, 3 and 8 with 5 steals. 30 for Eric Gordon once again. James Harden offensively was not so great, but that's okay, man. When you have Eric Gordon dropping 30 points, you're quite all right with that. Timberwolves, Andrew Wiggins' best game of the series, 24, 5 and 3, 21 for Karl-Anthony Towns on 9 for 11 shooting. It's just defensively, the team just does not have what it takes to stop the Houston Rockets, unfortunately, man. It's just how it is. I mean, I predicted one game, but at this point, it looks like it might be a sweep out here. Simulate with Simcast. Here we go. See how this potentially final game can go. And yeah, Houston Rockets are just Timberwolves. Oh my god. Okay, man, Timberwolves come out and get a W. 108-98, getting one win on their home court right there. So good for them. 25 for Chris Paul, 18, 2 and 9 for James Harden. Click follow the double-double. We have Karl-Anthony Towns going absolutely nuts, not ready to go home and play some Fortnite with 24 and 19. 18 for Jamal and 18 for Andrew Wiggins. Jimmy Butler only shot 6 times, but 13, 5 and 6, so playing to his strengths right there. All right, we have a game 5. Simulate with Simcast. See how this goes. And Houston Rockets off to the races, dropping 40 points in the first quarter. And yeah, man, they're just like, all right, you guys got yourself a game out there. We're not taking any chances of you guys winning another game. They win 122 to 89 in an absolute blowout. So in the closeout game, 26, 6 and 9 for Chris Paul, a double-double for James Harden, 17 and 17 for Eric Gordon and Gerald Green. Just the depth of this team was just too much for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Andrew Wiggins, I mean, 22 and 10 is nice numbers. 2 blocks out there, 10 for 24. Not all that great. It's not that bad, I guess, but not all that great. Karl-Anthony Towns kind of disappeared that game. But yeah, guys, so we have the Houston Rockets moving on in this next round of the playoffs. So stay tuned because I will be doing the next playoff series simulator with the next team very soon. Thank you all so much for watching, and peace out, my friends.